Hi everyone, welcome to the American Computer Enthusiast Show. My name's Steve Reeves and I'll be your host tonight. My guest is Greg DeMars from Autodesk, and we'll be taking a look at Autodesk's newest software, AutoCAD for Windows. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Mom's always telling me to slow down. Don't rush, she says. Take your time, especially on my math homework. She says if I go too fast, I'll make mistakes. But every April, that's exactly what my mom does.
So this year, don't rush. Check your math, attach your W-2, and remember, sign your return.
A message from the Houston chapter of the Texas Society of CPAs.
The American Computer Enthusiast Show made possible by funding from PC People. PC People's Houston leading source for business software. Let PC People help you make the right decision regarding your next software purchase. Call 789-6300 for competitive pricing and free delivery. And by Chem Stations, specialists in chemical process simulations. For more information and optimization of your chemical processes, call 954-4100.
Hello. Research indicates we Americans create too much garbage. So I have spent years developing worms that eat garbage at astonishing rates. Some eat more than others.
There's an easier way to save the world. Recycle. To find out more, dial 1-800-CALL-EDF.
Stay tuned for more on the Educational Channel.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. For those of you who just joined us, I'm Steve Reeves and I'll be hosting the show tonight. My guest is Greg DeMars from Autodesk. Thanks for coming to the show.
My pleasure.
Great. Before we get started showing the hardware and software, what we got to do is, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about Autodesk, maybe a little bit about AutoCAD. Just give us, I'll give you 30 seconds to tell you everything you know about it.
30 whole seconds?
No, really. Take your time, you've got loads of time.
Okay. Well, as you said, I'm Greg DeMars. I'm an applications engineer with Autodesk in our Dallas office. We're based in California in Sausalito. I'm a mechanical engineer by training. I went to the University of Texas and got my engineering degree there. And I went directly to work for Autodesk out of school, and I've been there for 3 years in the Dallas office. Autodesk started in 1982 with about $59,000 in capital, and this past year our sales were about $280 million. So we've grown pretty quickly in a decade. We are the fourth largest software company, PC software company in the world. We are also the largest CAD software company in the world. So we have a lot of resources available to us, and one of the things that we very much emphasize is research and development. And one of the fruits of those labors is AutoCAD for Windows. Now, for the listeners that, or the viewers that don't know about AutoCAD, AutoCAD is a computer-aided design and drafting package. That's what CAD stands for. And that allows you to draw lines and circles and get drawings out for things that you're designing. It also allows you to do in 3 dimensions design work of different models that you might want to build. So AutoCAD is the world's largest CAD package, as I said, and AutoCAD for Windows is a very exciting new product that we're very anxious for people to see.
That's great. What we have to show tonight, actually we're going to show quite a few different things and how it interfaces with Windows itself, with other programs, and exactly what it does. But before we get on, there's one thing I wanted to point out to the viewers before we go any further. In case they don't know, this is my first time as a host, and I've actually been on the show a number of times as a guest. This time I'm on the other side of the table, so I feel I feel privileged, I guess, and an honor to be a host of the show. So what I figured, as my first guest, I would honor you with this little token of my appreciation, your very own certified computer nerd.
Wow.
Pocket protector, and you have to wear it. No, I'm just kidding, you really don't. But I know that
great.
You get to keep. It's an honor to be.
This is an honor, Steve.
Yeah, I forgot Kleenex. I know you're probably kind of choked up after this. You know, but the show must go on. Yeah, I'm just kidding. But,
thanks, Steve.
Oh, he threw it away. What I had to do, well, what we had to do is, probably before we go any further, is maybe explain a little bit about the hardware that we're using here. Like Greg is from out of town, and so what I did was I brought my newest computer from the office. By the way, that's Total CAD Systems. We're an authorized AutoCAD dealer here in Houston. And what I did was I brought my newest computer, and what we brought, again, this is probably right now today, probably the fastest computer you can buy. I know there's the 4650s ought to be out. Well, pretty soon. Everybody's advertising for them, but you really can't get them too easily right now. So what we have here is a gateway. Maybe we want to show this on the monitor. I'm not sure if we want to just talk about it. I guess this is a Gateway 2000, 46, 33 megahertz machine. It's got 8 megabytes of RAM. It's got a 210 megabyte hard drive. This is an NEC. Do we want to bring that up? There it is. This is an NEC multi-sync 4FG monitor. It's a 15-inch monitor, multi-sync monitor. It goes up to 1024 by 768 resolution. This has the new ATI Ultra graphics board, or the graphics Ultra board, I guess is what it is. And it goes up to the 1024 by 768 resolution with 256 colors. Some of this may just be, I'm just telling everybody just so we can know what we're using here exactly. We have a Microsoft mouse hooked up. It's got 2 disk drives. And right now, I mean, this is probably the optimum machine. It doesn't have to run on something like this, but I just thought rather than you have to bring hardware from Autodesk and everything else, it'd be a lot easier if I just brought my computer. But you'll probably go into a little bit about what kind of hardware is required. You don't have to have a 486 in order to run this.
Don't have to, no.
So why don't we do this? Why don't you explain a little bit, we'll kind of take this in phases. A little bit about Windows, maybe a little introduction to Windows and what it does, and then we'll go right into the program itself.
Okay.
So we can do that.
Great. Well, Windows is what's called a graphical user interface. And there, as in most terms in the computer industry, there is an acronym for that. It's GUI. Some people call it GUI. And what that gives you is a graphical way to interface to your computer so that you don't have to type commands at a command line necessarily. You can use your mouse to navigate the entire system. And let me just show you what I mean. We have out here, it's called the Program Manager, and that's what manages all the programs that are out there. And the programs are arranged in different program groups. You'll see here one of those groups is called Excel 3.0, and it has the programs associated with Microsoft Excel. We have a CAD apps program group, which has obviously CAD applications. We have AutoCAD for Windows.
He's pointing right there.
Can you see that?
Yeah, you can see it pretty good now.
Good. And Fast Look, which is a drawing viewer.
That finger, that's part of the program.
Yeah, Steve's finger comes with the system. We also have the program groups down here as icons, so we can, for example, close that down to an icon. Simply double-clicking on it opens it up into the full window there. These are all windows in the Windows operating environment, and that allows us to take these windows and resize them at will. Just do whatever we want to, really, to them, and arrange them until we're comfortable with the way they look. Another advantage that, or the advantage that I was talking about with Windows, allows you to use your mouse to navigate the system and execute the programs too. So, for example, if I wanted to start, open this program group, start the right program, you see I have that, just by double-clicking, I have that program running. I can resize that window up here. And let's say I wanted to start Paintbrush. Now you'll notice that I don't just have one program running at a time.
Right.
I have 2 programs running right now plus the Program Manager, so that's really 3. Now I can close this down. I can execute a Microsoft Excel by, again, just double-clicking on it. I have an Excel spreadsheet running now. I can resize that if I want to. And then again, I can actually run AutoCAD for Windows.
Now, one of the new features of AutoCAD for Windows is being able to, dynamically, the DDE, Dynamic Data Exchange, is be able to interface between Excel and other window programs. And I'm sure
Absolutely.
You'll be showing us, we're talking about that later.
Absolutely. So one of the advantages of Windows, besides being able to use the Windows environment with a mouse to navigate the entire environment and manipulate files, In addition to that, we can, once we've mastered file manipulation with one application or with the Windows system, we've pretty much mastered it for all of the other applications, because all Windows applications have a standard interface. So you'll see that AutoCAD for Windows has a standard interface that has dialog boxes and push buttons and things of that nature that are the same across all the different applications.
That makes it real easy.
Exactly. Another thing that we can do here is just close things down to an icon. Well, that icon is actually hiding over here in the corner. And you'll see I can move these things around. I can move this icon around here, move it up here if I wanted to, move AutoCAD back down into the corner. And so you see that we're manipulating our operating environment. We can have all these applications out there running at the same time and have them running together even, as you mentioned. We can have dynamic data exchange happening on the fly here between applications. So we can have these things talk to each other.
Right. Why don't we start just to start a drawing or something?
Okay.
Just start a brand new drawing, I guess.
Okay, you bet. We go to the File menu, and the File menu in Windows is common to every Windows application. So you'll always see a File menu in the top left-hand corner of the application.
Right.
So we'll go in here. We'll say New. We're just using our mouse. Now here's where we need to use our keyboard. We have to type in the file name.
Now this menu right here looks identical to my menu that I start up Word. I mean, a new document in Word too. I mean, my new Word for Windows.
Exactly. That's one of the advantages of using the Windows system, is that every time you access a file or load a new file or a file that's out there on the hard disk, you always get this same file dialog box.
That's great.
So you have all these buttons here, and you have the listing of the different files. You can change what's listed in there. So you can have the drawings listed here. You see the DWG extension is all that's listed here, but we can have anything listed in this box that we want it.
Right.
Let's
That's
start.
a little hard to see on the screen, but
Oh, okay.
believe
Okay.
us, they're really our
We have,
DWGs.
we have grayed out text here. What that means is AutoCAD is telling us that since it's grayed out and the viewers at home can't see it, that means they're not available because we said a new drawing. These are drawings that actually already exist.
Right.
So we can't make that a new drawing.
Right.
It's an old drawing.
To make sure you don't make the same identical.
Exactly. So we aren't allowed to select these. All right. Well, I'll say OK, and we'll come into a new drawing. And there we have a new drawing. Now
you've got this as a little screen right here. We can expand.
We can expand that to full screen if we like to.
Yeah. Now that looks like AutoCAD.
That looks like AutoCAD, with a couple of exceptions. One is that we have a title bar up here that tells us we're in the Windows environment.
Right.
It tells us the name of the application and the name of the drawing that we're editing right now. We also have a toolbar up here that's new to AutoCAD Windows. And this gives us different ways of manipulating the drawing. And we can go back down, if I can see that button there.
We've got that right to the edge of the monitor there. It's a little hard to see. Wanted to make it as big as possible so people could see on the screen exactly what's going on.
You bet. Now, AutoCAD for Windows has a couple of new things that AutoCAD as a regular application just doesn't have. One of those is bitmapped icons that we can use for drawing things.
Right.
So these bitmaps can tell us graphically what command it is that we're using rather than having to read a text string.
Right.
For example, here's the arc command, and we have all these different options here. We'll just say, we'll just draw an arc, and you'll see here that we're drawing an arc. We're dynamically drawing that arc.
Right.
Now,
why don't you, we'll explain this a little bit. We got to take a break in just a few seconds here.
All right.
So we'll wrap this up. I mean, I guess you've already got it wrapped up there, but why don't we just take a quick break? Everybody just stay where you are and don't move, and we'll be right back.
This is you and this is me.
Last year, thousands of innocent children were caught in the crossfire of violent crime. How much longer will you let this go on? Call this number now. We'll send you information on how you can protect your children from crime in your neighborhood. Together, we will take a bite out of crime.
After dating the guy forever, you think I could tell him anything. Why is this so hard? I'm really scared.
It takes a lot of guts to tell someone he's too drunk to drive. But you can do it. Just say it. Because if you don't, there may be nothing left to say.
Kevin, I'm gonna drive.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
The American Computer Enthusiast Show made possible by funding from PC People. PC People's Houston leading source for business software. Let PC People help you make the right decision regarding your next software purchase. Call 789-6300 for competitive pricing and free delivery. And by Chem Stations, specialists in chemical process simulations. For more information and optimization of your chemical processes, call 954-4100.
Hi everyone, welcome back. In case you just tuned in again, I'll just keep repeating this. My name is Steve Reeves, and our guest tonight is Greg DeMars from Autodesk, and we're taking a look at AutoCAD for Windows, brand new product. Actually, it's not even out yet, but we'll talk about release dates and hopefully when it comes out. One thing we want to do before we go any further is we are taking phone calls. This is a live show for anybody that doesn't know that. In case my face turns red or anything, or I look like I'm I won't feign, I promise. This is live. We are giving some things away, and we'll be giving away to callers, so make sure people call in. The phone number is 861-6283. That's 861, I think it'll be on the screen sometime, 861-6283. We're giving away, actually not these glasses that we're drinking from, but...
Unless they want them.
Right. They're worth a lot of money someday, but we'll be giving away some coffee mugs, we have some t-shirts, and some koozies, I don't know what happened to it. It's around here somewhere. The red koozies, the things you put on your Cokes or, well, beers, I guess, if you drink beer. But what we had to do, I guess, is wait for people to call in. Just continue showing the product here. We'll just continue with our little demo of the AutoCAD drawing called Test.
The drawing called Test.
Yeah.
Well, what I was trying to show here before the break was that some of the drawing capabilities and some of the interface features of AutoCAD for Windows. Now, AutoCAD for Windows has all the drawing capabilities of any other version of AutoCAD, and in fact, it has a couple of extra things. As I was showing the icon-based menuing here, we've also got the toolbar here that's not in other versions of AutoCAD. And what this allows us to do is set different variables or set different modes of operation. Here, this is an ortho mode, and ortho on means, for example, if I draw, say, a line, and I turn it, and ortho is on, you'll notice that it only goes vertically or horizontally. That's what ortho or orthogonal mode means. Right. So we have a quick and easy way of changing that with just a Windows push button. Excuse me.
And you can see that when you push it in, it looks like it's actually pushed in.
Yeah, I'll push
it actually
that
changes colors and looks pushed in.
Yeah.
It's three-dimensional almost.
Yeah. So it's really easy to tell. So it's really a graphically very intuitive interface, visually very intuitive. So you can understand what you're doing very quickly without having to read text or decipher some symbol or something like that. So it's
again, it looks just like any other Windows program because, like for example, Word and have the buttons the same exact way when you put something in bold text or italicized text. Works identical. So if you know, like you're saying, if you know one program, it makes it real easy to go to another program.
Sure enough. You'll notice also we have our different pop-down menus here, we call them. Now, you'll notice that there are three here and there's a list up here. Well, the reason that happens is I might want to resize that window. Now you'll see the utility that was here came up over here. So if you go to full screen, this will actually only take up one line and you'll have more screen room for your drawing.
It stacks it up if it won't fit.
Exactly. There's a little wraparound routine that when the menu is loaded, it wraps that around for you. Well, let's see. Let's take a look at some of the different interface features for Windows. These are pop-down menus, as I said. Now, there are a couple of things here. New, open, close. These are all Windows-type features where we can edit a new drawing, which is this one, open an existing drawing, or close this drawing. Now, we also have Save as DIB. That stands for Device Independent Bitmap, which means you can save the AutoCAD snapshot and actually turn that into maybe an icon that you use in one of your icon menus, if that's what you want to do. We also have the ability...
One more acronym.
Another acronym, yet
Right.
another acronym.
Right.
YAA.
Right.
We also have the ability on the fly, in real time, to change our environment in AutoCAD so that, for example, well, let me just go back and point out a couple of things. You notice that we have one, down at the very bottom, we have one line that says command on it.
Right.
We've also got a sidebar menu here, and we also have a particular text font and size up here. What I can do is go into the AutoCAD environment. Let's say we don't want to have that screen menu on the right-hand side. I'll just turn that off. We do want a status line, but we want it to be 3 lines. Okay? We want to change our screen font to make it bigger. Let's just say that this is a high-resolution monitor and we can't quite pick out all the different letters, or it's difficult to read. So we might
maybe
want
for TV.
Or maybe for TV, so everybody can read our menus.
Right.
There you go. We might want to make that bold for TV.
Right.
And then I'll just say OK to that. Color. We can configure the AutoCAD graphic screen colors here and the text screen colors. So if I click on the graphics background, it was black. You can even see it peeking through
Right.
over here. It was black, and it tells you what that color is. I can change that to gray if I want to, but let's just stick with black. I can change all of these different. It's just like Windows when you
Right.
configure Windows. Let's cancel out of that so we can change our colors too. And if I say OK,
Mega text.
well, it gets really big, and we don't have a sidebar menu.
Right.
So you'll see that the toolbar
You
text
can
gets
really
really
see it
large.
on the screen, though. I mean, you
Yeah,
can
you
really
can
see it on
really
the
see it.
monitor.
And then we have three lines down here that are
Right.
very large text as well. So
What we got to do here is, I think people are starting to call in. Why don't we take a quick phone call,
Okay.
and then we'll see what happens.
great.
All right. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Do you have a question? Hello? Okay. Well, I think I just hung up on somebody. I guess now I'm official. I'm an official host. I hung up
You
on
did
somebody.
it.
Hopefully they'll call back. Hello? Hello? Well, that's all right. We'll continue.
Okay.
I didn't really want to
I
talk
have
to them
plenty
anyway.
of demo material, Steve. Don't you worry.
I guess no, that was my official breaking in there.
Kind of like Larry King Live.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
I think. Well, I think.
do we have a call now?
No, good. Just keep going.
Okay,
Just
we're going
go.
to keep going. Just hold
Just
on.
everybody
a second.
ignore me, you know.
You'll notice up here we have some numbers on the screen in the toolbar, and if I click in there, now we have update. So what that's doing is updating the position of the cursor
Right. Just
on the
like
screen.
regular.
So it's telling us dynamically where that cursor is. So that's an interesting feature. We can turn that off simply by clicking on it. In other versions of AutoCAD, you have to know the variable name,
Right.
or you have to know the hotkey to use.
Right.
So there you just go up and click it. It's very visually intuitive. We've also got different buttons over here, you see, and these are actually programmable buttons. This is one of them, and then they continue over here. Now they're programmable. This, for example, is the center object snap. Okay, so we can snap to the center of an arc or the center of a circle. If we're drawing, for example, a line and we wanted to draw it from the center of that circle,
Right.
we go to the draw menu, hit line. Well, we go to the draw menu, hit line, and we say line from point. You'll see at the bottom of the screen it's asking us for a point to
Right.
start at. We simply say center of that arc, and we're starting at the center of the arc.
Great.
Now I can go up here and turn ortho on again, and you'll see that we can draw a
Right.
line directly across the screen.
Great. All right. I think we have some callers now.
We have a caller.
The
Just
lines
don't hang
they're
up on
filling up here. Why don't we go ahead and just get line 1?
Okay.
I'll see if I can do it right this time, all right? Go ahead, caller. You're on the air with Greg DeMars. Hello?
Hello?
Okay, we can hear you.
Okay.
Great, my first call.
I had a question about an Autodesk product, not about AutoCAD though. I currently use Animator,
Right.
and I was wondering if there's an Autodesk product that would do Animator, like a 3D animation type thing.
You want to answer that?
A 3D animation package. Well, actually,
Sure.
yeah. There's a package called 3D Studio that we produce and market, and it's a three-dimensional package that does animations. It also does shading, and it allows you to do fully in 3 dimensions, even importing AutoCAD models, animations of those models, and very sophisticated shading of those models.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is there any compatibility with Animator? on that?
Well, actually, not directly, but the player will play animator files.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks
You
for
bet.
calling.
Okay, bye.
Do you want to take another call? Can we take another call? Line 2? Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, I have a question. I'm a college student,
Right.
and what I'm trying to find out is whether or not your product would do basically the full solid modeling type capabilities that will let you analyze volume, surface area, the center of gravity, and so forth.
Did you hear that question?
I think I heard that. Do we
Solid.
have the solid modeling capability?
Yes.
Well, yes, we do. It's called the Advanced Modeling Extension, and it's an add-on extension to AutoCAD. Now, with AutoCAD for Windows, unfortunately, that's not going to be available because of limitations in the Windows environment. That's a pretty sophisticated package, and we just couldn't get it into the Windows product at this time. So with any other version of AutoCAD, you can get the Advanced Modeling Extension and do solid modeling inside of AutoCAD. And that gives you the ability to do things, as you were mentioning, center of gravity analysis, surface and volume analysis, centroids, as I said, moments and products of inertia. So a lot of different engineering type data you can get directly from the Advanced Modeling Extension.
All right, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, great. I think we have another call, line 3. You want to take another one while we're on a roll here?
Sure, let's do another one.
2 times in a row I've been hung up, so we're doing pretty good here. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
Yes, I have 3 questions. First, what version of AutoCAD is AutoCAD for Windows equivalent to? Second, when will it be available to the public? And third, approximately how much would it cost? And I'll hang up and listen.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Did you get all that?
I got it all.
I should have wrote it all down there.
Well, write it down now.
All right.
AutoCAD for Windows is Release 11, so it's the currently shipping release. And we will have it with Release 12 as well. It will be available. We haven't announced specifically a date, but it will be available, we're hoping, before the end of the quarter. So before the end of next month, it ought to be shipping. You might see it even before then, but we're hoping before the end of next quarter, certainly before summer. So you'll see it before summer. And the price, since Steve is one of our authorized dealers, I'll let Steve take that question and tell you all about the procedure for buying it and upgrading to it.
Right. Actually, I have a chart here. It has to be a chart because there's so many different things. What it is most people that have purchased the product recently will get the upgrade or the extension, the Windows extension for their Release 11 3D6 AutoCAD for free. There's a certain date. We've got different dates, like anything before November 15th. It actually is $99. The most you'll pay is $99. So there's different cutoff dates. The best thing to do is probably to call us at the office or something, or call your AutoCAD dealer, one or the other, and they've got all the prices and the dates. You have to run Windows and Excel with a spreadsheet to figure this out. Not really, I'm just kidding. There's really only like 6 different dates you have to remember, but most people that have bought it within the last couple of months, back to November, will get it for free. And there's also a cutoff date on this chart that even updates. At one point, they were saying that you'd have to buy only the people that bought brand new packages were going to get a free update or free extension. But there's a window of people that
a window?
A window, exactly, of time that you can get a free update instead of paying the $99. So the most you'll pay is $99. I guess we figured that out, $99.
$99.
Right. One thing that I forgot to do, and hopefully they're keeping this in the control room, is I forgot to write the people's name down. I'm supposed to be asking people what their name is, but hopefully they've got that under control out there. We'll get it at the next break.
You're the host, you don't need to worry about that, right?
We'll just keep all the things we're giving away. We'll just wear the T-shirts and things. I guess, why don't we keep going here?
Okay, yeah, there's plenty of demo material,
right.
so
we may have to extend this into the next hour.
We
keep on
this could be a 2-hour show.
Right.
Okay.
A mini series.
Okay, well this is, I think I've given you a quick overview of the drawing potential of AutoCAD. Let's open a file that's already out there.
All right.
We don't want to save the changes. So you see we've got, when we say we want to get out of this drawing, it asks us if we want to save the changes. Well, no, we really don't. Now we're opening a new drawing, and you'll see that now these you can actually see there at home. You can see them on the screen, the listing of the drawings. We'll open something called facil.dwg, and again, all I have to do is double-click on that name, and we get that drawing right in here. Now, let's say this drawing is going to take a while to load. Well, one of the advantages of a multitasking operating system is that we can go to another application. And for example, this is a text editor here. I can just type in some text here, if I can type.
Type like me.
And you probably can't read that anyway, so this could just be mumbo jumbo.
This is an example of text.
Well, you can read it, Steve.
I know, I'm reading it for them because I knew they... No, I'm saying, because I know they probably can't see that up there.
Okay, so the message here is that we can have multiple applications running and use those multiple applications at the same time. So while this was loading the drawing, I go over here and I change some wording in a document. I can come back into AutoCAD and see my drawing is here. Let's look at a couple of things in this drawing. Let's see here. Well, actually, what I want to do is show you, I think it's under options.
Right. But this is people. The one nice thing about this also is anyone that's using AutoCAD now, there's no big learning curve. I mean, I can see most of the things on here are exactly like the menu structure is exactly the same as the normal DOS version.
Yeah, and indeed that is the case. We might want to point out here that the AutoCAD for Windows right now is simply an extension to AutoCAD. So you have to have AutoCAD already in order to run it under Windows.
Oh, okay.
So it's a $99 extension to AutoCAD that you already own.
Right. All right.
So let's do a list, a simple list. We'll list the different properties of the things I'm selecting out there. I don't know what they are. But what you'll notice is that another window comes up and scrolls text past us. So that's automatic. The list command forces our text dialog box to come up and shows us what's in that dialog box. Now, one of the really, well, I picked too many things, I guess.
That's
we
right.
have
I can
a lot
read
up
really
there.
fast.
Well, actually, you don't have to now. With other versions, with the DOS version, for example, the command line would save a certain, actually the number of lines that were on the text screen on your monitor, and then they just go off.
Right.
What you can do with AutoCAD for Windows is
you can
actually
scroll up and down.
You can actually dynamically drag this bar up, and you'll see that
That's great.
we're scrolling these.
We have about 20 seconds here before our break.
Okay.
And the phones are going crazy.
Well, let's take a question.
You want to? Well, why don't we do this? Just keep going for a couple seconds here.
Okay.
Why don't we just take a break and we'll come back and answer as many questions as we can. The phones are going up. Look at it. It's vibrating. There's so many people
smoking.
calling in. So why doesn't anybody that hasn't called, or how many, I don't know, people online, all three lines already, the phone number is 861-6283. So anybody get to the phones fast, and we'll be right back.
This is just one of the many parts you can play as a young Red Cross volunteer. Volunteer and play your part.
My hero? Isaiah Thomas, Kevin Costner, Mr. Wong.
These are teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes.
My hero? Mrs. Wooten. If I don't get through to that child, who knows, maybe no one else will.
Teachers have the power to wake up young minds, to be heroes, to make a difference. Reach for that power. Teach. Find out how by calling 1-800-45-TEACH. Be a teacher. Be a hero.
The American Computer Enthusiast Show made possible by funding from PC People. PC People's Houston leading source for business software. Let PC People help you make the right decision regarding your next software purchase. Call 789-6300 for competitive pricing and free delivery. And by Chem Stations, specialists in chemical process simulations. For more information and optimization of your chemical processes, call 954-4100.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Before we go any further, I want to make sure everybody knows the number is, we're giving away some things here. This handy mug here. I'll take a little drink here. The phone number is 861-6283. We're also some Autodesk T-shirts, and man, are they nice.
They're beauties.
They are. And we probably should have worn them underneath our shirts or something. We could have taken our shirts off or something.
Done the Superman routine.
Right. Why don't we take a couple of calls here real fast before it gets completely out of control. Their phones are going crazy. Hello, you're on the air. Who are we talking to, please?
Yes, my name's Rodney. I have a couple of questions. First of all, if you haven't already mentioned it, what are the minimum system requirements?
Pardon me?
Minimum system requirements.
Oh, minimum system. Yeah, that's a good question. I wish I would have asked that.
Exit, AutoCAD for Windows does not support the advanced modeling extension. Are there any other restrictions compared to the DOS version of 11?
Right. Any other things that aren't on the Windows version that are on the DOS version?
Okay.
We'll hang up here.
Well, the minimum system requirements are a 386 or 486 with 4 megabytes of RAM and enough free disk space to load AutoCAD. AutoCAD for Windows, the minimum that you need to have open to install AutoCAD for Windows is 7 megabytes. Now, you also need to have a swap file. You need to have any additional disk space for the help files. If you choose to load all of the help files, we actually have the AutoCAD reference manual online that you can load onto your hard disk. And it's hyperlinked Windows-style help. And I can show that to you, actually. But that takes an additional 20 megabytes. So, in fact, you're looking at, if you want to install the entire system, close to 30 megabytes. Actually, about 30, and then extra room for swap files and temporary files.
All right.
And the second part of the question was, what's not in AutoCAD for Windows that is in other versions? Well, the advanced modeling extension, as I mentioned before, is not in there. And also, we don't have any network licensing, which we do in all of our other products. That will hopefully be changed when the new release of Windows comes out, which is a 32-bit version of Windows. I think they're calling it Windows NT. It used to be Windows 4.0. I'm not sure if Microsoft knows what they're going to call it, but it'll be a full 32-bit implementation of a Windows environment. And in that type of environment, we can indeed include the advanced features like the advanced modeling extension and the networking.
That's great. I hope that answered your questions. We'll take the next caller here. We'll just take line number 2.
Sounds good.
Hello, you're on the air. Who are we speaking to?
Hello, Steve. My name's David.
Oh, hi, David.
Question, any type of upgrade policy with people with Autodesk?
With who? With AutoCAD? You mean?
Autodesk.
People that work for Autodesk?
No, with the program Autodesk.
Oh, well, the program itself, Autodesk is actually who makes...
I'm sorry, AutoSketch.
AutoSketch. Oh, okay. I don't think there's anything for AutoSketch.
AutoSketch is sold out of our retail products division. So they're not, well, obviously they're affiliated with us, but that's a separate division, and there's really not an upgrade policy. Actually, between AutoSketch and AutoCAD is something called Generic CAD, which is also an Autodesk company. So there is an upgrade path or a migration path that we provided there for you, but there's not any special deal that we've got out there for people that want to go from AutoSketch upward toward AutoCAD.
All right, well, I'm sure that the window product then is going to be upwardly compatible from the DOS version. Is there any way to go back?
Upwardly compatible from the DOS version. Well, actually, all the drawing files and support files are compatible. They're text files. You can't use Windows menus that are compiled with another version, the DOS version of AutoCAD, but all of the drawing files that you have out there are binary compatible across all of our platforms, not just DOS and Windows, but if you have a drawing that was created under DOS and you're networked to a Unix machine, you can read directly that drawing on your Unix machine without any conversion whatsoever. Is that what you were looking for?
Yes.
Good.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks for calling. I guess we'll take another line here.
Sure.
We're never going to get anything shown. Hello, you're on the air. Who are we speaking with?
My name is Larry.
Oh, hi, Larry.
Some other applications have an ability to scan a drawing, such as a floor plan, and then be able to convert it to rasters or whatever the vectors, so that you can make it into a CAD file. Can you do that? And if so, and I have a second question also. Would you want to deal with that one first?
Oh, sure. The idea of scanning things in or having a raster image inside of AutoCAD is not a new one, and actually there are some third-party applications that run inside of AutoCAD that will do exactly that. We have a program called our Strategic Developer Program, and one of the strategic developers is a company called Image Systems, which makes a product called CAD Overlay ESP. And this is exactly the kind of product you're talking about. It allows you to bring raster images into AutoCAD and then vectorize those images by hand, manually, but nonetheless you have the raster image as a background. A lot of times it might be an aerial photograph of something that you want to have a CAD drawing of just the roads or parcels of land. So it's really handy for that, and I guess you probably know the utility of having a raster background. So inside of AutoCAD, the core of AutoCAD, no, there's not any ability to bring in raster images, but in the third-party domain, in third-party developer applications, we do have those abilities.
All right, and another question?
Well, to follow up on the first question, in those third-party programs, can most images be brought straight in, or are there lots of decision points to do so? I was using it in another application with some floor plans, and it was just mind-boggling just to deal with the width of the lines and end up with something that was usable.
Well, a lot of that is the condition of the drawing itself, I would think. Probably the best thing to do is we can either talk to you later. We have your phone number, I think, or I could talk to you tomorrow, because we are a CAD overlay dealer.
That's fine. The other question that I had, just do you have any upgrade policies for other vendors' CAD programs, such as Design CAD or some of the others?
You're talking about something like the MCI trade your card in thing for an hour of free calls?
Well, Microsoft and others have upgrade policies. If you take WordPerfect, you can get a better deal on Word for Windows. Do you have anything like that from another vendor where you would give AutoCAD as an upgrade to somebody else's CAD program?
Unfortunately, no. We don't have any program like that whatsoever.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling. You want to take another call, and then we'll go back to here. Because
okay, one more call.
Okay, we'll go to line one. Go ahead, caller. You're on air. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, this is Irv.
Irv.
How do you
the
do?
Infamous Irv. I've talked to you when I was a guest.
You're right. First of all, I want to know whether AutoCAD for Windows or even AutoCAD can do isometric drawings.
Isometric drawings?
Yeah.
Well, yes, in a number of different ways. Now, isometric drawings to me means you're talking about a piece of paper, a 2D piece of paper, where you have a drawing that looks like a three-dimensional. Okay, yes, we can do that, and we actually have some utilities in AutoCAD to help you do that in 2 dimensions. In fact, though, as well, you can do your design work in 3 dimensions, so you can have a true 3D depiction of your model on the screen. So you can have a true 3D model. You can also have an isometric that looks like the 3D model. So you have 2 options there.
Can you dimension drawings?
Oh, absolutely. We have very sophisticated dimensioning. They're associative, so that when you change geometry, the dimensions will update automatically. It's quite extensive dimensioning and very powerful dimensioning.
Make an AutoCAD for the Macintosh.
Sure.
AutoCAD for the Macintosh? Absolutely. You bet.
As of today, it's still release 10.
Right.
But release 11 will be out soon. That's what they have their best people working on it. That's what they tell me.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks for calling, Irv. I think what to do, we've got some more callers, but why don't we go ahead and show a little bit. How much time do we have before we break? A couple minutes? Or we have plenty of time.
Well, let me quickly do a couple of things then.
Call the networks. We're going over.
Sound like Ted Koppel.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. One thing we can do here is we can go down here and we can do text. Now, I'll tell it to start, just for ease of the viewers to see it, I'll tell it to start right here, and I'll say it's about this tall, so I can dynamically tell it, and a rotation angle of 0. Now, text, it's asking me to enter text. Now, I can sit at the keyboard and enter text, or I can go up here, I can say file, I can say edit in the ASCII. Well, actually, we can't do that. I need to...
By the way, I just found out we have plenty of time.
Plenty of time. Good deal. Well, I don't have to hurry then.
No, take your
Edit,
time.
I can copy that. All right, I come back into AutoCAD. I'm still looking for text here in AutoCAD, and I can go into Edit, and I can say paste. And you'll see that our text comes right in.
That's great.
So we have the ability to bring text in from the clipboard into AutoCAD at the command line. So it might be that we bring in a command. We can have an application out there that we've written in Visual Basic, and I guess I can get into the programming aspects of AutoCAD, but we can have a little toolbox out there that will allow us to click on an icon and have AutoCAD commands issued at the AutoCAD command line, even though it's an entirely separate product.
That's great.
What are some of the other things?
You could actually also type things in a word processor and bring it in.
Oh, absolutely.
So you don't have to worry about typing
A lot
it
of people have drawing notes or have databases associated with their drawings that they like to keep separately because the management of that database is non-graphical information.
Right.
So it's a lot easier in a database. Well, we have the ability now to directly import that into AutoCAD as drawing notes, for example. So we can have a section on our drawing of drawing notes that we've imported from a database, from a spreadsheet, and have that dynamically linked so that if the spreadsheet changes, the notes in the drawings change.
That's great.
So that's another one of the advantages of the Windows, the multitasking environment, is it allows us to have these applications talk to each other dynamically. Another example of that, of the clipboard, let me just do this real quickly, is I'll go in here and I'll say edit, and I'll say copy image. And that will give me a bitmap image. And let's just say I want to grab this image right here. Okay, now that's on the clipboard. I simply go to our paintbrush. Maybe I'll resize that a little bit so I can see it a little better. We'll go in here and we'll say edit, and we'll paste. And you see it pasted that piece of the drawing right into our paint program. Now you can imagine the power of this when you're talking about technical documentation, where you have a technical document that you need graphics into directly from your drawings. You can just throw it out onto the clipboard and bring it directly into your drawing. You can even get more sophisticated and have those two, again, hot linked, or using the dynamic data exchange in Windows, have, when the drawing changes, the document changes. So you always have a current version of your...
That wasn't an easy thing to do in the DOS version, because
not at all.
What happened was when you used PageMaker in Windows and you had AutoCAD in DOS, you had to go through all sorts of translations and things. Well, by the time you got over to PageMaker, 20 minutes later, you forgot what you were bringing over.
Right.
And this makes it real simple. I mean,
very
doing
easy.
like newsletters and
exactly.
things like that, you can bring your graphics right over, place it right on your drawing.
Very easy to use. So again, we're stressing here the visual intuitiveness of the interface and allowing you to...
That's a nice word there.
Yeah, it was kind of nice.
It's kind of catchy there.
Okay. Well, back to AutoCAD. Another thing that we can do, let me just show you, I'll rearrange my windows here for a second. Another thing we can do is, for example, let's use that dynamic data exchange. All right?
All right.
Now what we can do is we can set filters. So I'll set filter 2. That needn't worry you. And then we'll export a selection set. And what this will do is actually export it to an Excel spreadsheet.
Okay.
And since we have one loaded out there already, it'll show up. So I'll grab that block that I grabbed before, and then I'll click on our Excel spreadsheet. And you noticed it was empty before?
Right.
Well, now it's got things in it. And you'll see here, let's just go up here, and what was that, format, and what was the column width.
Right.
And we'll change this to 12, say OK. And you'll see here that we've got the name, it's a corner unit, and it's made by Steelcase. That's a piece of furniture inside of a building. We have attributes attached in the drawing.
And it goes right into the spreadsheet.
Exactly.
That's great.
Now, one thing that we can do here is we can say, go into either one of these. We can maybe change the name of the manufacturer.
All right.
I don't know exactly. Let's see.
You may want to...
Let's just say that's made by Autodesk. All right, and we'll go back into AutoCAD. We'll go to DDE, and we'll say Import Changes. Now, that's the one I selected. What I can do is...
DD at... Right.
And you'll notice that the manufacturer didn't change. Well, that's interesting. What evidently
this is TV. It's not supposed to work right. It's no problem.
Well, this is pre-released.
They probably can't read it anyway. So.
Yeah, and the manufacturer changed to Steelcase. Well, this is pre-release code. I probably didn't do something right. I didn't read my notes well enough. But anyway, we can have those changes change the information in the drawing as well, so we can have this hot link between the two different programs that are running out there.
We have a couple minutes left before 2 minutes or so. Why don't we take a quick phone call,
Sure.
and then we come back. And by the way, anybody that we have 2 minutes. We have phone calls on every line here is what they're trying to tell me here. In case somebody doesn't get through, we'll take your numbers and things, and we'll answer a few questions after the show. So if there's a few people that maybe don't get answers, don't worry, we'll get to you. Well, why don't we take a phone call on line 1 here?
All right.
Oh, go ahead. You're on the air. Who are we speaking with?
Yes, my name is Keith.
Hi, Keith.
How you doing?
You have a question?
Yes, I've got two questions. I kind of tuned in a little bit late, and you said that this was a Windows, this is an extension for Windows, and it was $99, something to that effect. I was wondering, what is the minimum version required to run under Windows?
The minimum version of AutoCAD?
AutoCAD. You have to have 11.
Like version 10 or 11 or 2.7 or what?
Version 11, Release 11 is the only version you can get the AutoCAD Windows extension with.
You'd have to upgrade if you have 10, you'd have to upgrade your existing 10 to 11, and then you can add the extension.
Okay, all right, that's great. Next question is, we have network version of AutoCAD. I'm curious whether or not this will work with that, if the network version is Release 11.
Well, unfortunately, networking is one of the things that's not in the AutoCAD for Windows. The two things that aren't in there are the Advanced Modeling Extension and network licensing. So, unfortunately, with Windows, you don't get the network licensing.
All right. Any other questions?
That's it.
Okay. Why don't we go real fast to line 2? We have about 1 minute here before we have to take a break.
All right, we'll do it quick.
All right. Turn him off, and then go to line 2. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Who are we speaking with? Hello, line 2. I can't hear you. We'll go to line 3, I guess.
Okay.
I guess he got tired of waiting or something. Go ahead, you're on the air. Who are we speaking with?
This is Bruce.
Hi, Bruce. How you doing?
Pretty good.
You have a question?
You've answered quite a bit of the questions about networking platforms that I was going to ask. What networking platforms have they been tested with under the Windows, like Banyan or Novell, or just running as a single user?
Do you know that?
Oh, okay. Well, we actually haven't, we don't publish any endorsed network operating systems. And again, I guess you heard the answer to the last question. Networking is not part of the Windows extension, so you can't have network licensing with the Windows extension.
Okay. The clipboard capability, that's pretty slick.
It's very slick. I like it
got a lot of potential.
It surely does. And in fact, if I don't know if you can even notice it right now or in the demonstration, but the Windows application doesn't run as fast as it does under raw DOS, but your productivity might increase threefold because of the ability to do this.
Oh, exactly. I mean, just, like you say, the extension links the people in completely different departments, the designs could be changed and made, and then, they don't even have to talk to them.
We're going to have to wrap it up here. We're going to have to... Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we've got to go to a break here.
Okay, I had one other question.
Okay, just hold on 1 second. We'll get you ready. Just hold on 1 second, or we'll get you in during the break, all right? Hold on. Don't anyone go away. We've got a few minutes left. We'll try to answer some questions, some quick questions if we can, and also show a few more things. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Mrs. Washburn, I'm Gerald Fry's mother. Oh, don't you work nights? I traded shifts. Mrs. Washburn, about Gerald, I wish I could help him learn better, but I'm no genius.
Well, you don't have to do the homework, but ask to see it.
Let him show off what he learned.
Praise him more. Show you care.
You think we got a chance here?
A good chance. Show me a parent who really cares, and I'll show you a kid who can learn.
Used in the world in the last 40 years, none had more power. than this one.
What are you doing this weekend that's so important you can't take a little time to test your home for radon? After all, it is the second leading cause of lung cancer, and a radon test kit is inexpensive. You could pick one up on your way to get a few things for the yard.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. We're almost finished, but we have time for just a few things. We have probably time for one more phone call and a few more seconds of showing AutoCAD, and then a little wrap-up, maybe ask them what's going to happen next and where we're going after this. So, I mean, not after this. I mean, drinking or eating. I mean where Autodesk is going. So why don't we take one last phone call? Do we have line one? Why don't we take this call here? Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, I have a question.
Who are we speaking with first?
AutoCAD extension.
Hello? Hello?
File and then load up another window with AutoCAD. And
We've got a terrible connection.
Oh, okay. First of all, who are we speaking with?
okay, this is James.
Oh, okay, James. He wants to know if you can load up more than one file at a time.
Oh, I see. AutoCAD for Windows is a large memory model application. So you can only load it once under Windows. So that means that you can only see one drawing at a time, basically. Now, there are drawing viewers out there that allow you to look at multiple drawings at the same time under Windows. We've actually got one on the system here. So you can look at multiple drawings at the same time. You can't use AutoCAD to edit multiple drawings at the same time. So there can only be one instance of AutoCAD running at one time.
Does that answer your question? I guess so. Thanks. Thanks for calling. I don't know if he hung up or what. One thing that you haven't mentioned is output. You know, that it will work, I mean, like as far as plotters and printers and things like that. That's one thing that nobody has mentioned. Also, input devices maybe too. Does it work with digitizers and templates and those kind of things?
Yeah, actually, you're right. There haven't been any questions about specific hardware.
There's about 8,000 things here I have to talk about, and we haven't touched about.
You only have a list of 300 or 400 questions, I noticed.
All right.
Okay, well...
We only have about 30 seconds, so talk
30 seconds. Everything about input and output in AutoCAD.
Yes, it works with plotters.
Yeah, we can plot, and we can print, and we can use digitizers, we can use mice. We can actually arbitrate between a mouse and a digitizer. So the last item, the last device that was used is the one that's used for the input. We can plot, we can use the system printer in Windows.
Right.
We can also configure separately for a plotter of our own configuration inside of AutoCAD and go through the parallel port for our own plotter in AutoCAD.
I guess we're going to have to wrap it up here. They're telling me over here that we've got to hurry up. So I guess what we need to do is, first of all, I'd like to thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
And I appreciate, them asking me to be the host. And hopefully, if I didn't goof up bad enough with the names and things, they'll ask me to come back again. And the other thing is, real fast, we decided we had enough phone. We're just going to give everybody a T-shirt, everybody a mug, and get everybody happy. Because we want to make sure everybody likes Autodesk and
Total CAD systems.
And Total CAD systems, right? We're totally CAD. So I guess that's it. I guess I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and hope we answered all your questions. It's been real informative. And again, thanks again for coming back, and thanks for watching the show. We'll see you later.